former high school friend of mine created a post on Facebook and I wanted to react to it. The post says, starting your own business and leaving a steady 9 to 5 is so much harder than it looks. Everyone ain't cut for it. And despite the consensus, you could be making the same money as that 9 to 5. You really are, and also will feel less secure financially. And I wanted to just react to that because, hey, entrepreneurship is challenging. Okay. And I'm actually just looking at some notes, guys. So how do you feel about this? Is he right? Can you be making the same amount of money on your 9 to 5? Do you feel less secure financially? He didn't say whether you really are more secure in a job or whether you are more insecure as an entrepreneur. He said you feel like. And hey, just being honest, like I get that. I get that message because there are people who may be doing 6 figures, multi 6 figures at their corporate job with benefits, with a sign-on bonus, with a annual bonus, and an increase in a cost of living increase each year, right? So I understand exactly what he's saying, and it can feel more secure to be at your 9 to 5. But there are other factors that come into play. If you're a parent, many parents want to spend more time with their children, especially the formative years. If you have an elderly parent or your family lives in a different state, you may have health issues. There are various reasons why people may be picking or why people may desire to generate income on their own rather than being tied to a 9 to 5 with 2 weeks vacation. All right. And then on the other side of things, there are some who want to stay at a job because you get great health insurance. You know that a paycheck is coming in every 2 weeks. And that's why they call having a job, especially what's considered a good job, having golden handcuffs. Sometimes it's difficult to just get uncuffed, right? So I want to give you 7 tips. If you are an individual who you really want to make entrepreneurship work, you may be preparing to retire from your corporate job. You may be looking to pivot. You may have been laid off, and you may be looking to see whether or not entrepreneurship is a viable option for you. You may have even started a business before. That business could have been successful. That business may have failed, and now you just want to start over. What are some steps that you can take to transition from your 9 to 5 to a life of entrepreneurship and small business ownership? The first step I want to give you is don't. Like, who says that you have to immediately quit your job
I quit.
to then do entrepreneurship? You don't. You can keep your job and start a business. Many of us say, I don't have enough time for anything, right? I can say that. I'm a very busy mom, wife, entrepreneur. I can definitely say I don't have enough time. But I'm going to tell you a story. A few years ago, I felt like I was spending too much time on social media. I looked at my history within Instagram and realized I was spending on average 2 hours a day, not consecutively, but over the course of 24 hours, I was spending 2 hours each day on my phone, scrolling, mindlessly scrolling on Instagram. At that point in time, I decided to take a summer off from Instagram, delete the app from my phone, because 2 hours per day, 7 days a week, is 14 hours. That's basically a part-time job, almost a part-time job, right? So I got off Instagram. I put all that energy and effort into my business. And that was the year that I finally crossed 6 figures in my business. Because all that time I had been complaining about that I was so busy, I put it towards my small business. And that's my advice to you. You don't have to necessarily quit your job tomorrow. All right. You can educate yourself. You can tinker around a bit. It depends on your timeline. Don't do it forever. But once you figure out what it is you want to do in your small business or your entrepreneurial endeavor, then you can start to execute. Once you execute and have proof of concept, then you can create a plan to further execute and implement to generate revenue, produce more income, start saving, and then make a transition from your job to entrepreneurship. But it doesn't have to be immediate. Step number 2, figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to make money from it. A lot of times, especially when I'm speaking with individual clients, I advise them, hey, you don't have to feel like you are a Elon Musk. You don't have to feel like you are the name of the guy who started Microsoft, Bill Gates. Okay, you don't necessarily have to do a startup. Your goal doesn't necessarily have to be a Fortune 500 company. I'm sure that some of you, that is your goal. But for others, a lot of people, you're looking for something to replace your income. You're looking for something where you can double or triple your income. And a lot of times you may not necessarily be looking at a lot of employees. There are definitely solopreneur opportunities available to you. One of the things that I say is wherever you are, unless you are, very young, but typically the people that frequent my channel are between the ages of 34 and 65. If you fall in that range, you have lived a life. You have experiences. You might have gone to college. You may have a master's degree, a doctorate degree. You may have worked a corporate job. You may have done all types of things, right? You have life experiences and education in your tool belt. Start to brainstorm and think about things that you do, that you've already done, that you're really good at. It may be one thing that you can produce, and you may be saying, well, how am I going to monetize that? How am I going to make money off of that? That's where the journey begins. You can use a skill that you already have to make money and build your business off of. As you get going and get proof of concept by actually making money, and where does that comes in learning sales and marketing, so you can learn how to actually, and I'm not talking about going back to school. I'm talking about looking at what tools and strategies people are using to market their business in today's age, in 2023, almost 2024, when most of you will be seeing this video, right? You can use the skills you have to build a business for you, for your family, to grow legacy. Step number 3, once you have some level of proof of concept, you are going to make sure your business is set up properly. Many people don't know there's definitely a right and wrong way to set up a business, and without making you super overwhelmed, you definitely want proof of concept first.
It's proof of concept.
Right? And then you want to go about setting up your business so that it is sustainable and it serves you through the lifespan of your business. One of the primary things that people don't think about when they're trying to transition from a corporate 9 to 5 or just a regular 9 to 5 job to entrepreneurship, they don't take into consideration how their financials will have to be set up if they have to buy a car or buy a house. You want to make sure that your business is structured properly so that you can do these things. And what does setting your business up properly look like? It looks like making sure you have a business phone number and a business address, making sure that you have your LLC established properly, that you're maintaining your LLC each year, making sure you reserve a domain name so that you have your business name is yours, is protected, and no one else can take it. So there are definitely a sequence of steps that you need to take once you have proof of concept. Now let's get into this aspect of, well, you eventually may want to buy a house or buy a car. Well, in order to do that as an entrepreneur, once your business is generating consistent revenue, which is why I say it may not be a bad idea to keep your job while you're trying to figure out entrepreneurship, because your business needs to be generating consistent, predictable revenue, income, money. You need to be bringing in money as a business owner, right? As you begin to do that, have a pattern and a habit of making money in your business, and as it grows, then you need to put yourself on payroll. You need to get a W-2 from your business. Why? It's going to make things a whole lot easier if you get to a point where you have to buy your first home or a second home as now a full-time entrepreneur. You are going to need 2 years worth of W-2s. Now, there are ways around this that requires a more significant, larger down payment. There are ways around it, but the easiest route is by having a W-2. And if your business is consistently generating that revenue, you don't have a ton of overhead, you can pay yourself a W-2 salary after you filed taxes for 2 years, and you can show tax returns and bank statements of consistent income, and you have your W-2s, then it puts you in a position where you can get a house easier. As it pertains to a car, typically you don't need all of this documentation, but you do need to make sure that your business credit, even if it's not an extensive business credit profile, your business credit is at least set up. So that is why, in my opinion, there is a best practice or a best way to make sure your business is set up right from the start. Speaking of that, shameless plug, for years, I've been hosting a class called Launch Your Business Right from the Start. And in that class, I share each step that needs to be taken to set your business up properly. And I also give the resources so that you can effectively do that. I am offering this same class live on Zoom as a 5-day challenge. So over the course of 5 days, we will go over how to make sure your business is set up properly for sustainability and longevity, and so that you can really live a life once you transition from your job to full-time entrepreneurship. If you are interested in joining the wait list for that program, please click the link in the description below. All right, let's get back to it. Save more than 6 months of your expenses. When you own a business and you're finally generating revenue and it's consistent and you're thinking about transitioning off of your job, you have to think about more than just 6 months of living expenses. Now you have to take in consideration your business taxes, which you should be separating each month. You have to take into consideration your business expenses. How much does it cost to run your business each month? You have to take into consideration your living expenses, your salary. How much do you need in each month to live a comfortable lifestyle? The next thing you're going to have to take into consideration is insurance, both health insurance and insurance for your business, especially depending on what type of industry you serve. Again, each month you should be making sure that your business revenue is being separated according to the needs that you and your business have. And then once you have a nice nest egg saved up, in my personal opinion, I really think that it's great to have 12 months. Now, you do have your job, so you're making income off your job and you're also saving from your business. You want to make sure that your business is strong. Think of it as an infant. When a baby is first born, every waking hour is about making sure they're healthy, they're fed, they're clean, they're alive. And then as they get older, they get more independent. As your business gets older, it gets more independent. And this track is not for everyone. For those of you who have low responsibility and are at a season in your life where you can take more risk, maybe you're an empty nester, you no longer have children in your home. Or maybe you are just starting out and you're single and you still have the option to be able to live with your parents. If you have lower responsibility, then you are able to take higher risk. When you have more responsibility, you're not able to take as many risks. So this information saying, hey, try to have 12 months saved up before you quit your job, is going to be dependent upon your situation. You have to make a decision to do what needs to be done based on your unique circumstance, based on how your life is structured. For some of you, you may say, you know what, my job is so stressful, and you may have to let that job go and get another job, or let that job go and go straight into figuring out entrepreneurship. Every person has their own role as a small business owner and an entrepreneur. So I get that. This information is just some ideas to help you along the way. If it's possible for you to have 12 months worth of living expenses and worth of business expenses, that's a really good start, in my opinion. Step number 5, avoid lifestyle creep.
They're buying everything in sight.
The goal for your business, especially if it is a what's called a lifestyle business, is for you to be generating at least six figures in profit, but ideally $300,000 to $500,000. And this is something you're going to grow into. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. It may take you, depending on your business model. There are some online businesses that pick up traction really quickly, and you can be making those numbers in 2 to 3 years with a lot of hard work. For the average person, it's going to take 10 years to get there. But whether you decide to pursue entrepreneurship or not, those 10 years are going to pass by. So why not take a chance on yourself? Of course, you have to make a decision about what taking a chance looks like. I definitely advise you to look well into the matter. However, the goal for a decent lifestyle business, a great lifestyle business, is at 300 to $500,000 range in profit, ideally. And I know some people make a whole lot more than that. There are solopreneurs making 1.2 million, 1.5 million. It's just them, no employees. And then if your business model is more brick and mortar or even a service-based business definitely can do multi six figures a year. So the $300,000 to $500,000 in profit is an attainable goal. As you're making this money, there's going to be temptation to have lifestyle creep, to buy better cars, to buy a better house. Again, I'm going to keep saying you have to do what's best for you. There may be a situation where you really need another car. There may be a situation where you really need to move into a new home. But if you can keep a handle on your spending, at least until you know that business is somewhat stable. Because when you're a business owner, stability is up and down. And there's a tip that's coming later in this video that's really going to help you to kind of hedge yourself against that up and down of business. But right now, if you can avoid the lifestyle creep, you'll better position yourself. You'll be able to put more money into marketing. You'll be able to put more money into savings. You'll be able to reinvest in your business so that you can grow it in whichever way you decide. Point number 6, invest in yourself.
I need to make sure you're investing in yourself.
Invest in classes that are going to advance or accelerate your business, that are going to advance or accelerate your skill set so that you can make more money. I know a lot of times people say invest in yourself, and it's like, well, how do I invest in myself? Take classes, take courses, go to networking events. If you can find a mastermind that is of value, where there's going to be an exchange, a valuable exchange of information and a building of relationships, participate in a mastermind. Listen, I even say go on vacation. When I make a decision to go out of town, even with my family, for some reason, my business just does better. I think clearer. We get more experiences. I dream bigger. And I usually come back with a more modified plan for myself, my life, and my business. So these are the ways in which you should invest in yourself. Invest in your health. Maybe you've been longing to hire a personal trainer so that you can get fit. Maybe you've been desiring to shop at a better grocery store so you can eat more healthier food, or hire a nutritionist so you can learn how to eat. Some people may say, hey, that's a waste of money. What does that have to do with business? What does that have to do with making more money, generating more revenue? It has everything to do with it. When your mind is clear, when you're eating unhealthy, heavy food, it's very difficult to think clearly. You're tired, you're sluggish, you're ready to go to bed. But when you start to eat healthier, and I'm saying this personally, as I eat healthier, as I get exercise, my brain is more clear to create, to think, to produce. If you stuck around to this point, hey, thank you so much for watching. Point number 7, last point here, and this is the best point in my opinion, because it's really going to help you to stabilize everything else. And this next step may sound a bit overwhelming, but I'm going to bring some clarity to it. Okay, so bear with me. The next step is create another stream of income. What? Now you want me to create 2 additional streams of income?
Multiple potential streams of income.
Hear me when I say this, okay? Now you have your job, you have your small business. Your small business is bringing in at least $150,000. Like, at least get it to that mark. I would ideally say, based on inflation, based on the economy, I really would say $300,000 is a good in profit, is viable, right? It's a viable number. Once you're there or before you're there, right? Create another stream of income. And it doesn't have to be something outside of what you're already doing. For instance, if you're a realtor, maybe you can start a staging company where you go into the new build, new construction neighborhoods. And when they put that model home up, they give you a call because you're the one who comes in, or your team places furniture, and that builder is renting that furniture out for several months. Maybe you can provide furniture for a video set or a movie studio temporarily while a movie is being filmed, right? We have to think outside of the box, but these are things that are in line with what you're already doing. Let's say you own a dry cleaning business. Can you start doing a delivery and pickup service, or a pickup and delivery service? Is that another way for you to create an additional stream of income? Can you advertise to busy moms and busy professionals who simply don't have the time to drop off their laundry to get it dry cleaned? Could you start a wash and fold service where you pick up laundry in a maybe say a 10-mile radius? This is a paid service. You get the clothes back, you wash them, you fold them, and then you drop them back at your customer's home. Could that be a service that you add? If you're a restaurant, for instance, in the area that I live in, there's a kind of a high-end restaurant. Well, they didn't do well, and now they're closing their business. But the season that they're closing their business in is the holiday season. It's when people have more money to spend. They are taking their children to sports practice and they don't have time to cook dinner. Could they not have started a meal delivery service or started a more lower scale food service type of business to meet the needs of the community? Could that have sustained them through the difficult months? When we're thinking about that additional stream of income, we are talking about doing something that is aligned with what you already have going on within this small business that you've created. Listen, I hope this information was helpful. Again, I will be hosting a 5-day Launch Your Business Right from the Start challenge, and I hope that you will join me. If this video was valuable to you, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, take care.